Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see from the title, we have another story time. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Please be sure to like, comment, and also subscribe. Also, I just came back from New York, so if my voice is a little offity off, then don't mind me. I just came back from New York. I wasn't even screaming like that in New York. Like, I wasn't even screaming like that, so I'm really trying to figure out where my voice went. Also, if you guys hear a fan in the background, I'm gonna keep it on the lowest setting. If you guys hear my fan in the background, I'm so sorry, but it is so freaking hot, and I'm not trying to sweat while I tell this story time. I do want to be the first one to let you guys know, to give you guys a disclaimer, that in this story time, in this series, because this is gonna be a long series, y'all, I might not have the same energy that I usually have when I tell story times. I might not be in high spirits. I might not be laughing a lot, telling jokes a lot, because this whole situation has been very traumatizing for me, and I have really dealt with a lot dating this guy, and I was never gonna tell the story time on him, like never. Like, even if the situation at the end didn't happen, I was just gonna let him be, let us be, and me just move on. I just did not want to tell a story time about this boy, but he just did too much to the point where I feel the need to tell this story. And yeah, so if you guys don't see me in high spirits like how I usually am, I'm so sorry. And also, like I stated before, this is going to be a series, so this is not just, yeah, like y'all already know this is gonna be a series. So I'm just gonna get started because I don't want to ramble. This story time is gonna be pretty long. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I met this boy, where I met him, and everything like that. This is kind of like the introduction series, right? So boom. So we're gonna name this boy Legion, and if you guys did not watch the Who the Fuck Did I Marry series, then y'all should have definitely known that there was the guy that she named Legion. He was a liar, and he was just crazy, and he lied about everything. And this boy that I dated in the past, he's a fucking Legion Jr. Like, he's dead ass a Legion Jr. He lied about everything. So I just feel the need to call him Legion as well. I really want to call him Legion Jr., but I don't feel like I'm going to be saying Legion Jr. every time. But we're just going to call the boy Legion, and let's get started. So, boom. So I had met Legion on Hinge, the infamous Hinge. And I know, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear Irene, Hinge ain't good. I don't want to hear nothing, okay? I don't want to hear it. Y'all just listen to the story, okay? So I had met him on Hinge in the summer of last year. And it's crazy because I met him like right when I created the app. I think I created the Hinge app like last summer, and I just was like trying to build a roster up. Like, I wasn't really even looking for a relationship for real. I was just trying to build a roster up. I was trying to move on with my life, because I never told you guys about this one guy, but there's this one guy that I dated in 2022 up until the middle of 2023, and that boy gave your girl hell. And that was a long distance relationship. That wasn't even a relationship to where we were in the same city. That was a long distance relationship, and that boy gave me hell, y'all. Like, he gave me pure hell, and it took me a while to get over him. But I stopped talking to that guy like in the beginning of 2023, so I took time off to heal. I wasn't talking to no guy. I wasn't dealing with no guys. I was just like doing my own thing, you know, just focusing on myself. That was around the time where I really started losing weight. Like, I was just focusing on my own well-being type shit. And then during the summer, I kind of got like, okay, I got the feeling of, okay, I want to start dating again. So I decided to just download Hinge, because I remember people talking about Hinge and finding people on Hinge and stuff like that on socials and stuff. So I just decided to download Hinge, and I was just like, let's see where this goes. It's not like I downloaded Hinge with the intentions of being in a relationship or nothing. I just wanted to see where it went, right? So I downloaded the app, and I started getting, you know, a whole bunch of matches, and I started to talk to a whole bunch of different guys, right? One guy stood out to me more than anybody else. Like, he kind of stood out to me more than anyone else, and the boy's name was Legion. And me and him, we just started talking. The reason why I personally feel like Legion stood out the most to me is because he was just very, like, he was very he just gave energy from the beginning. Like, I remember it's us having mid conversation, he was like, do you want to go on a date? Like, he just asked straight up. Like, we didn't talk for a long time before he asked me out on a date. These other guys that I was talking to, they was prolonging prologuing. Like when I say prologuing, y'all, they was prologuing. Now some of them did ask like straight up like, hey, when can we go out? Like some of them I did go out with like straight away, but for the most part it was some guys that was just prolonging. And so the guys who were very adamant with, okay, do you want to go out, like what's your schedule looking like, those were the guys that I was giving more energy to, rather than the guys who just wanted to text all day. In my honest opinion, if you and me are in the same city, I don't see why me and you are texting all day long. I don't see why me and you are like, you know what I mean, like come like let's go out type shit. Like let's go to an activity, let's do something fun, let's go out to eat, let's get to know each other in person. Like I want to see you, I want to touch you, you know what I mean, I want to smell you, see if you stink, you know what I'm saying, like let's go out type shit. Like what are we doing in here, what are we doing? He was one of them guys that was very like appointed. Like he just told me straight up, hey, like what's your schedule looking like this week, I want to take you out. And I like that, like I like that energy, you feel me? So I gave him my schedule and we ended up going out, right? So y'all, I have been on many dates, and I have told you guys in my past, not many dates, I haven't been on many dates, let me not lie. I've been on dates to say the least. Like I think I go on a date every like once every 2-3 months. I go on a date. I don't really go out on a lot of dates, I'm not gonna lie to you, unless like I'm actually fucking with the guy. If I'm fucking with the guy, then yes, I go out on many dates. But like if I'm not really talking to a guy, I don't really go out on dates like that. He was, and I told you guys in my past story times, if you guys have watched my past story times, I told you guys that I've never had a bad date. I've never had a terrible date. Now I have had a bad date to where the boy was very socially awkward and I had to carry the entire conversation, and it was just so weird. I've had that type of date, but I've never had like a date to where like it was bad, because even when I had the date with the boy who was socially awkward, he still was a very respectful guy. He still was a gentleman. He was still very nice. He just was very shy, like, and he just kept telling me, I'm so sorry, like I'm a shy person. And I think my personality, like I'm very like, I'm like like, you know, like I'm all over the place type shit. And I feel like for him it was a bit too much for him. Like my personality like superseded his, so he wasn't really able to like really be comfortable for real, because it's not like I was shy. Like I'm just not a shy girl. Like let's fast forward to me and his date, right? So me and him, we end up going to this very nice restaurant. It was cool, it was a cute little vibe or whatnot. We end up sitting down, and y'all, the date was good. Like the date was so fucking good. It felt like I've been knowing this boy my whole entire life. Like when I tell you guys we had chemistry, we had like mad chemistry. It felt like I just knew this guy. Like it felt like I was just linking up with a friend. Like it didn't feel like I was on a date with a guy that could potentially be my boyfriend, or like on a date with a guy that I like could potentially be messing with. Like it felt like I was just going out with a guy that I was friends with or something like that. And I love that feeling. Like I love being around people that I feel like are more so my friends than my lovers. Those be the relationships that last long, right? So it was fun. It was never a dull moment. It was just never a dull moment. And he just literally embraced me. Like when I say he embraced me, he embraced me. This is how y'all know that the date was good. The date was good because I told this boy I was a YouTuber. And if you guys know me, you guys know I do not tell guys that I just start talking to that I'm a YouTuber, because I don't trust guys. And guys try to, like, I've had guys try to like just use me for my channel. I've had guys try to like think they know me based off of watching me. Like they like judge me based off of watching a couple of videos. They do not know me. Like what I show you guys is a snippet of who I really am. Now let's backtrack, because I forgot to add this part in the story time, but let's backtrack. Now up until me and him linking for our date, because when he asked me what my schedule was like, I just remember that week I was so freaking busy. And I think the days that I wasn't busy, he had work. So the day that we set up the date was like way like into the week. So but throughout those days, he was texting me every day on the app. Then eventually he just got my number, because I was texting back so slow. I do not have my notifications on the app on. So he was like, hey, like, can I get your number? So I ended up giving him my number or whatnot. And then we just started messaging on iMessage, and he was messaging me every single day. He messaged me, and we were always talking about something, just something new, like a new topic every day. And then one day I was just like, I'm gonna call him. So I just called him randomly one day, and me and him talked. We did not talk for a long time. Like our conversation was very, very brief, like very short. And I remember him asking me when's, like, we just asking like, oh, when's your birthday? So he asked me like, when's your birthday? And I end up telling him like, my birthday is in September. Mind you, around the time that me and him were talking, my birthday was approaching. So he was like, oh, what are you doing for your birthday? I was supposed to go to Jamaica for my birthday, but my friends were not serious, so I ended up not being able to go. So I was just telling him that, like, I was just telling him like, well, I was supposed to go to Jamaica, but you know how black people are when it come to trips. Sometimes people be playing. So I said, so I wasn't able to go on my trip, and I'm not really doing nothing for my birthday. And I'm gonna be real with y'all, I was very bummed out by that. Like, I was actually very sad that I wasn't doing anything for my birthday. And he ends up telling me like, oh wow, like, I really wish I could go with you, or like go out the country with you or something like that. Like, he, mind y'all, and I know somebody about to be like, girl, he was love bombing you. He like, yeah, y'all, looking back at it now, he was, but I did not notice back then. I did not notice, and I didn't notice. Like, I can't describe him. Like, for me, I could tell when a guy's trying to love bomb me, but when it came to him, I couldn't really. The way he love bombed was in such a settling way. Like, it wasn't like a overpowering type of love bomb. Like, he would just, his voice was very, like, he was a very mellow type of guy. Like, he had a deep voice, but he was a very mellow guy, very chill, laid back, nonchalant type of vibe to him. So when he spoke, you don't really see it as, oh, this guy's trying to love bomb me. You just see it as we're just having a normal conversation. And he was just like very empathetic with the fact that I wasn't doing anything, and that I was sad that my birthday was kind of, in a sense, ruined. And he was just like, dang, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I wish I would have been able to go with you somewhere out the country. He was like, but I don't have a passport. And I was like, you don't have a passport? He's like, no. And I'm like, and mind you, this boy's older than me. So I'm like, boy, you don't have a passport? Like, what you doing? Like, you need to get a passport. Like, I told him straight up. I'm like, you need to get a passport. Like, what you doing type shit. He's like, yeah, I've been thinking of getting a passport, but I just never got time to do it. I've been busy, blase, blase. And I'm like, And I was just making jokes. Like, mind you, at this time, I'm backtracked. Me and this guy had not met yet. We haven't went out on our first date yet. I'm just like making jokes with him. You know how we just be making jokes and shit. And I was just like, I said, because if a nigga want to be with me, he gonna have to travel with me. And he was just laughing and shit. Like, it was just normal conversation, right? And so I ended up asking him like, oh, when's your birthday? And he's like, I don't want to tell you. And I'm like, why not? He's like, because you're not gonna like my sign. And I'm like, why not? Y'all, this boy ends up being a freaking Gemini. I should have known. I should have known. And let me tell y'all something. I don't know if I told you guys this before, but if a guy is a Virgo, I don't talk to him. If a guy tells me he's a Virgo, our conversation is over. Because I'm a Virgo, and I already know how male Virgos get down. Because I'm gonna be real with you, male Virgos kind of act like female Virgos as well. And I already know how I act. I act very sassy, but I'm a girl, so I can be sassy. But you, my nigga, you can't be sassy. And it's two different type of sassies. I don't think people understand. You can have a nigga that is sassy in a good manner, and you can have a nigga that is sassy in a bad manner. And Virgo men are very sassy in a bad manner. And so if a guy off rip tells me that he's a Virgo, I exit the conversation. And I'm starting to feel like that's what I'm gonna do for Geminis, because he is not the first Gemini that I've dealt with. The guy that I had mentioned before I started talking to Legion, he was a Gemini as well too, and he did bullshit as well. So it's like, I just don't think I'm gonna continue to talk to Geminis. But you know what it is? I always try to give the benefit of the doubt, because my little brother's a Gemini and he's a sweetheart. But I'm gonna be real, even though my little brother's a Gemini, he's a sweetheart, he kind of has Gemini characteristics as well. He has two different personalities to him. He has a very loving personality to him, and then he has a very moody, like irritating personality to him. So it's like, I try to give guys the benefit of the doubt, because I always think of my brother. I'm like, well, my brother's a Gemini, he's a sweetheart, but I'm gonna be real, if you're a Gemini, I'm not talking to you, because I just can't continue to deal with this bullshit. That's neither here nor there. So he ends up telling me that he's a Gemini, and I'm just like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah, see, this is why I didn't want to tell you. He like, this is why I didn't want to tell you, because you see, look, you judging already, you judging. And I'm just looking like, hell yeah, I'm judging. Like, y'all be on some weird shit. Like, y'all Geminis be on some weird shit. So and I'm gonna be real with you, I don't think Geminis and Virgos are compatible. I'm gonna be real with you, not just in a sense of like relationship wise, but even in the sense of friendship wise. I do not think Geminis and Virgos are compatible with each other. We end up getting off the phone because it was late at night. It was like give or take 12 in the morning, I remember. So let's fast forward to the date. I already told you guys the date was really good, but I was not surprised that the date was good because of how good our conversations over the phone was. I wasn't surprised that the date was good. I ended up telling him that I was a YouTuber, and he was so like, wow, like that's so cool. And he was just very intrigued by me. Like I also told him that I was an engineer. He was just like, wow, that's cool. Like he just thought that shit was so intriguing. And I also told him that I usually don't tell guys that I'm a YouTuber because they do weird stuff. They do ABCD, they do this. And his dumb ass is sitting up there laughing like, really? Wow. And I'm like, yeah, like sometimes they try to use me for, and he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. But bitch, I mean, I can't say that now, but y'all gonna understand what's going on as the story time continues throughout the series. But yeah, I'm just telling him all that stuff, and he's just like, wow. He's like, yeah, I would never do that to you, this and that. And you know, at this time I was vlogging. So I was vlogging, and I wanted to vlog not the date, but like the food on the table. So when the food came out, I was like, would you mind if I record your food before you eat? I want to add this to my vlog. And he's like, yeah, I don't care. So he ends up like pushing his food towards mine, and he lets me record. Mind you, like he's like, yeah, you can get whatever you want. Like he was just very respectful, like very 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 respectful guy. And then he's letting me eat his food, and I'm like, do you want some of mine? I don't know if he ate my food, but like the vibe was just immaculate. Now that night I was going out to the club that night. I remember very vividly I was going out to the club that night. So when the date was over with, I ended up giving him a hug, and he's like, what you about to get into? And because it was the weekend, and I'm like, I'm about to go to the club. Like I'm gonna go out to the club, I'm gonna go party with my friend. He's like, oh, okay. He ends up telling me, well, you should text me when you get home. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. Like I'm gonna text you when I get home. And then he literally just hugged me, and he just left. It was no weird shit. I hate when niggas be like, can I get a kiss and stuff like that after the date. If you had to ask if you could get a kiss, then you cannot get a kiss. If I kiss a nigga on the first date, they never ask, can I get a kiss? It just happens. Like we just both look at each other, and we just both go in for the kiss type shit. But if you have to be like, can I get a kiss? Like, you doing too much. Like, you know you can't get a kiss. And even though me and this boy's date was really really good, I just did not care to kiss him. Like I didn't care to kiss him. And like I said before, it felt like I was on a date with my friend more so than a nigga. Like the chemistry was there. We shared a lot of things in common. The sexual chemistry was not there for me at all. Like I did not see myself sleeping with him. I never saw myself having sex with him. I don't know what it was, but he just wasn't giving me like sexual chemistry at all. Like not whatsoever. Had he asked for a kiss at the ending of the date, I think I would have been so turned off. So let's fast forward. We just continue doing the same usual thing, just texting and talking to each other. And then we end up seeing each other more. And eventually one day he ends up telling me like, hey, like, do you want to go somewhere today? And I'm like, no, can I just come over? Because y'all, I'm gonna be real, at this point in time I just felt comfortable with him. And I know somebody about to be like, oh, you can't do like I know y'all. But he's like, I just told him, I'm like, hey, can I come over? Like I don't feel like going out. And the reason why I didn't feel like going out, when he was texting me, I just didn't feel like dressing up. Like I didn't feel like putting an outfit together. I didn't feel like doing my hair, even though my hair was done, but I didn't feel like touching it up. I didn't feel like doing my makeup. Like I didn't feel like doing none of that. Oh, let me show y'all my nails. These are my nails. These are my nails, y'all. Y'all know I love showing y'all my nails. I didn't feel like doing none of that, right? So when he told me, hey, do you want to go out today? I just was like, hey, can I come over? He's like, yeah, you can come over. So I ended up going over there, and nothing happened. We did not have sex. We didn't even kiss. Like, mind you, I think this is like the third time I done seen this boy, and we still haven't had our first kiss or nothing. Like, it was just a cool vibe. That was around the time where I was watching Love Island a lot. I was binging Love Island, and I was also watching a whole bunch of those love shows like Love is Blind, Perfect Match. So he just let me watch TV. Like, he let me watch TV. He ended up cooking a meal for me. The boy used to love to cook. The boy liked cooking, so he ends up cooking a meal for me, and we just watched TV and we just talked the whole night. I think we played a couple of board games or whatnot that he had, and we just talked the whole night. And I just knew, like, at 2 I would have to go home. So I ended up telling him like, hey, I gotta go home. So I ended up leaving like really early in the morning, like 2 a.m. and I ended up going home. At this point in time, y'all, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, where's the sexual chemistry? Like, I don't know, y'all. Like, I'm just a very sexual person. Like, I'm a very like hypersexual person, and which is not good, but I'm just being completely honest with you guys. I'm a very hypersexual person, and with me personally, if I don't feel the sexual chemistry with you, I eventually begin to get a little confused. And if I don't feel the sexual chemistry with you, I eventually don't stop talking to you. But the reason why I kept talking to this boy was because even though I didn't feel the sexual chemistry with him, I still felt the regular chemistry with him. I still felt like we were very compatible and we had a lot of things in common and we liked a lot of the same things. Like I would say like, oh my God, I like such and such, and he would be like, I like that too. And I know somebody about to be like, girl, like I said, he was love bombing you. But no, guys, he would tell me he liked this stuff before I would say I like these certain things, and it would just click and we would finish each other's sentences. Like, it was just a very like, our relationship was very cool, like very chill, laid back. You know, and he's a very quiet guy. Like, he's not a talkative person, but if you do spark up a conversation with him, he will engage with you and he will go back and forth and bounce off of walls and talk with you. But he was, I will say, he was a very quiet guy. He was a very quiet guy. Sometimes I would get a little like confused by that, because I'll be like, does he like me? Does he not like me? Because I'm a very talkative person and I just would talk his ear off, right, y'all? So I started to think, okay, why hasn't this boy tried to kiss me? Why hasn't he tried to kiss me? I'm confused. And he ends up, I end up asking him like, hey, like, you know, you haven't kissed me. I'm, you know, I don't know why you didn't kiss me. And he ends up telling me like, oh, I'm just trying to be respectful. I don't want to do nothing that will make you feel uncomfortable, especially considering the fact that you just pulled up to the house for the first time. I just want to be respectful. And I was just like, oh, that's cute. Like, so, you know, I was like, that's cute. And I told him, I'm like, but you need to, you know, you need to kiss me next time. And he's like, okay. And so that was that. So then let's just fast forward to the weeks. As the weeks go on, me and him, we're just cool. We're vibing. We text every day. This boy never missed a good morning text. This boy never missed like any text. Like, this boy texted me all throughout the day, and I'm gonna be real, I did not text him back fast enough because I wasn't just talking to him. I was talking to him and like 5 other niggas at that time. I was not just talking to him, and I don't think he was just talking to me either. So I didn't feel the need to text back fast enough because I was either busy talking to other guys. At that time, I was going on dates with other guys. Like, I was not just going on dates with him. I was going on dates with other guys, but nothing was really sticking like how me and him was sticking. Like, I just began to peep as the weeks went by. The other niggas that I was talking to, they wasn't really doing it for me like how he was doing it for me. Like, it just wasn't. I think it was only one other nigga that I was talking to that was doing it for me. But like, the way me and that boy met, I don't even know if I want to tell that part. The way me and him met was not in a good manner. So I knew that it wasn't going to go nowhere. But he was like the only other guy that was doing it for me other than Legion. So I was mainly just focused on Legion. Like, that was where my main focus was. But I was talking to other guys, and I'm pretty sure he was talking to other girls too. And I didn't really care. Like, I was just like, we just vibing at this point. Like, we just doing our own thing. Mind you, might I add, y'all, he did tell me that he was looking for a relationship. Y'all keep that in mind. Y'all make sure y'all remember that for the rest of this series. He said that he is looking for a relationship. It's not like he was one of them niggas that was like, oh, I'm not looking for a relationship, and then shit went left and I got mad, and then people like, well, he said he wasn't looking for one. No, this boy was looking for a relationship. Keep that in mind. Again, he began to like question me like, oh, like, I see you take forever to respond, this and that, like, but not in a mad manner, but just in a playful manner. And I'm just like, my bad, like, I just be busy a lot. And honestly, y'all, I really was busy because bitch, texting 5 niggas at once, bitch, that's a motherfucking job, bitch. They might as well pay me. At this point, I'm like, yeah, nigga, I'm busy. Fuck is you talking about? Like, I'm busy, bro. What's his face? Bobby just texted me, bitch. I gotta text Bobby back. Rashad just called me, bitch. I gotta FaceTime him back. And bitch, you just texted me, bitch. I gotta text you back too. Like, I'm busy. Plus, I got Plus, I got this YouTube shit, and I gotta go to the gym, bitch. I'm busy. Fuck is you talking about? And so I would just laugh, and I'll be like, my bad. Like, I've been busy. This and that. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see. I understand. I feel like Legion was petty, but in a quiet manner. Like, he was never the type to like show his cards. He was never the type to actually say, hey, I feel some type of way about ABCD. Like, that wasn't him. What he would do is he would pick up on things and then he'll be petty along right with me. So what he started doing is, y'all, he stopped texting me good morning. He stops texting me good morning. And I'm just like, wow, like, I don't see the good morning text no more. And he just started texting me around like 2 p.m. Like, hey, what's up? And at this point, I'm like, and I kind of side-eyed that, but I didn't think much of it because he still texted me every day. We still talked every day. Like, we still was in communication with each other, and I would still see him at least a good 2-3 times a week. So it wasn't nothing to where I was like, oh, this is weird, like this is out of the ordinary. But I did kind of peep that he stopped texting me in the morning. He stopped texting me good morning. And so one day I brought it up and I'm like, hey, you don't text me good morning no more. Tell me why. This boy said, oh, I don't text you good morning because when I used to text you good morning, you didn't used to reply to like 1 or 2, so I just figured to text you at. So I'm looking like, this nigga petty, but okay. Like, I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't really say much of it. Another thing is, because me and this guy met on Hinge, we never followed each other on socials. So throughout this whole time that me and him were dating, me and this boy did not follow each other on socials at all. Like, I didn't have him on socials. He didn't have me on no socials. And I don't know. I just never really cared to ask. I'm gonna be real. I never really cared to ask for his social media. I don't know why. And he never cared to ask for mine. I don't know if it's because we were always with each other or on the phone or calling. I just didn't really care to have him on social media. But one day out of nowhere, I was just like, hey, I don't have you on no socials. And he was like, yeah, right. I never thought about that, but yeah. And I'm like, do you want to add me on Instagram at least to have you? And he's like, yeah, sure, let's go, let's add each other on Instagram. So we end up adding each other on Instagram, and me and him end up following each other on Instagram. Now let's fast forward to like a month and a half. Now a month and a half, this is the whole time duration since I met him. Eventually me and him, we end up doing the do. Maybe I should have waited. Maybe I should have not did it with him so quickly. But I just felt comfortable with this boy. I felt comfortable with this boy from the first day that we met. So yeah, I felt comfortable with him. So we end up doing the do or whatnot. But I don't know how to describe it. Like, the shit was good, but I still wasn't hooked on him at that time. Like, I still wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna cut off all my other niggas for him. I still was in the field. Like, I was still talking to different guys. And you know how sometimes people be like, oh, once you fuck a girl, she go and the sex is good, she gonna go crazy about you. I wasn't at that level yet. Like the shit was good, but it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, the shit was good. Where Tyrone at? Like, it was on that type of time, and like, I didn't really care too much about it. Like, I was like, yeah, this shit is good, but you know, whatever type shit. Let's go ahead and fast forward to us being on Instagram. Now on his Instagram, the boy did not post like that. The boy barely posted on Instagram. He will post his story every once in a while. Now, you know, Instagram has notes, and Instagram, you can put songs on your notes or you can write notes. He will post like different songs on his notes every once in a while. For the most part, the boy wasn't really active on Instagram. And another thing that I peeped about him, which I thought was a red flag, was that he never, like, when I say never, he never liked any of my Instagram posts. Like, never. Like, he never liked any of my Instagram posts. He never hyped me up on Instagram. He just used to, like, he even watched my story. Like, I thought this boy had me on mute. This boy didn't watch my story on Instagram, and I just used to think, that's weird. Like, why is he not hyping me up? Why is he not liking my pictures? Like, I would post pictures, he would not like it. And then I would, like, when I would see him in person, I'll be like, hey, Legion, did you see my picture that I posted on Instagram today? He will play dumb. He'll be like, oh, that one? Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, I'm just now seeing it. And I'm just looking at him like, something not right. Like, you can't sit up here and tell me that you didn't see my picture. Like, that's just weird. And he will make excuses like, yeah, I don't be seeing your pictures. I don't be seeing your stories. Like, I don't see nothing of you. Like, I never see you on my timeline. Instagram got you shadow banned. Like, he'll make little jokes like that, and I'm just like, no, bitch, you got me shadow banned, and I'm trying to figure out why. Now, also, he never complimented me in person as well. Like, he would never tell me, like, give me words of affirmation. He would never tell me that I look pretty. The only thing that he will compliment is like things on me. Like, he will compliment my hair. Like, cause y'all know I switch my hair out. Like, I switch out underwear, even though I don't wear underwear, but I switch my hair out a lot. So he will be like, oh my god, your hair looks so pretty, like, oh my god, I love your hair. Or he would compliment like my outfits, because y'all know I be putting that shit on, and he'll be like, oh my god, your outfit is so cute. But he would never compliment me. Like, he would never be like, you're so adorable, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful. It's like, in my honest opinion, it's like he made it a point to try to humble me. Like, the vibe that I started to get from him when I was dating him was that he was trying to silently humble me. He knew I was that girl, and he was trying to humble me. Like, he knew I was beautiful, and he was trying to humble me. Like, he never complimented me, y'all. Never. Like, he never complimented my face. Like, always just like my hair. Like, I would show up to dates looking beautiful, looking gorgeous. This boy would never be like, oh my god, baby, you look so good, like, I love the way you look. Like, he would never compliment me, and I started to see that as like a red flag. But I didn't know what to do, because of the fact that he would compliment like my hair or my outfit. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to be like, maybe that is him complimenting me, or like, I don't know, right? So one day I'm on Instagram, and he posts another song, and it's actually very crazy, because I feel like God was literally on my side with this boy from day one. God did not want me to talk to this boy, and now that I look back at it, it's like, wow, like, everything just, wow. So y'all know how Instagram notes are. Like, everybody's notes will be in the front, like whoever's notes is there. Now, if you guys know about Instagram notes, then y'all know that, let's say one of your best friend posts a note, her note is gonna be at the front, because that's your best friend. That's someone that you interact with on Instagram all the time. He posted a note, but whenever I would see his notes, I had to scroll through the notes to get to his notes, because of the fact that me and him did not interact on Instagram like that. So his notes will always be in the back. So I would just have to scroll to get to his notes and actually see what he wrote, or see that he put a song or whatnot. But this specific day that I went on Instagram, I wasn't even looking for notes. I was responding back to one of my friends on Instagram. She DM'd me. Tell me why this boy's notes was in the very front row. Like, the very first note, his note was there. And tell me why when I went and clicked on his note and I scrolled to the side, tell me why his notes wasn't the first one. His notes was actually like the freaking 10th one. But my phone ended up putting his notes at the front of the line. And I feel like, to this day, I think that had my phone not shown me his notes first, I don't think I would have went looking for his notes that day, because it's not like I ever really looked for his notes. It's that I would watch people's notes, and I would scroll through people's notes and scroll through what people were saying, and he would just so happen to be there too. But on this specific day, I wasn't looking for no one's notes. I didn't care about what nobody was writing in their notes, so I was not going to see that. And I end up clicking on the song, and mind you, Rod Wave is his favorite rapper, and I end up clicking on the song, and it's this song from Rod Wave, and I don't know the name of it. I don't know if it's like Home. I think it's called Home Ain't Home. And if you guys know Rod Wave and you know that song called Home Ain't Home, he's basically rapping or singing about a girl that he used to date, that she left him, and the new girls that he's talking to, it don't feel like her. Like, she like the new girls that he is fucking with, they don't relate to her. Like, they're not on her level. And that's the song that he ended up putting in his notes. And I kid you not, guys, I promise on everything I love, when I heard the lyrics of that song, my stomach turned. Like, my stomach did like a turn, and I knew that something wasn't right. I knew that he was speaking to someone. I knew that something was not right. I knew he was talking about someone. So yes, y'all know me, I'm a very confrontational person. So I screenshotted it and I sent it to him on iMessage, and I was like, whoever you're singing about, go ahead and talk to her, because you are not about to sit up here and be talking to me and telling me that you're growing feelings for me, and I'm hanging out with you every day, and I'm thinking that we're progressing, but you're literally sitting up here writing to a girl talking about home ain't home. Like, that's so disrespectful, you know? So he got mad at me, and he was like, I'm not about to explain myself, that shit wasn't for nobody. He basically was saying that he just posted the song because he liked that song, and that Rod Wave is his favorite rapper, and that I'm doing too much. Mind you, y'all, this boy, he is not originally from Houston. He's only been in Houston for a year now. This boy is originally from the DC area, the DMV area, that area. So this boy was getting ready to go to the DMV that day that me and him got into it. He said that it was one of his friends' birthdays and he was going out there to celebrate one of his guy friends' birthdays. So when I had sent him that message confronting him, he kind of had the attitude of, baby, I'm going on a trip. Like, I don't really care about what you got to tell me. And in my honest opinion, I do understand that maybe it was a reach for me to automatically assume that he was making that song for someone rather than him just posting the song because he liked it. But at the same time, if you really like me like how you say you like me, you will want to clear stuff up. You will want to be like, no babe, like that's not, like you wouldn't say like, I don't care, I'm not gonna deal with this, I'm going on a trip. Like that's dead as what he said. And then he just stopped replying to me. Like I remember I was texting him and he was just opening it and not replying. So I eventually stopped texting him. So I went around and I was asking my friends about the situation. I was asking my brother, like, do y'all think I'm reaching? And I got mixed reviews, but most people told me that I was reaching. Most people told me I was doing a lot and they said I did not have proof, but it's just something in my spirit just kept telling me that this boy was singing to a girl. But everybody was telling me that I was crazy. Like everybody was telling me that I was doing a lot. So I just thought to myself, okay, maybe I should go back and apologize to this guy. So I end up hitting him up while he's in DMV. I end up talking to him on the phone one day and I'm like, hey, how's your trip? Mind you, it's been days have passed since this whole fight, this whole situation. And I'm like, hey, how's your trip? And he's like, it's good. Like you can tell he don't really want to talk to me. And I'm like, yeah, I just called to apologize. I said, but I just feel like you are talking about somebody. I said, but I don't have no proof and maybe I shouldn't have came at you like that in a bad manner. Because when I texted him, I told him to never talk to me again. And then he had the audacity to say LOL. Dating in 2023 is a joke. That's what he texted me. I remember that was the very first thing he texted me when I confronted him. Instead for him to clean up his name or instead for him to give me reassurance about the situation, this boy had the audacity to say dating in 2023 was a joke. And y'all keep that in mind. Everything that I'm telling you guys, please put this in the back of your head and lock that bitch up like the key it is. Keep this stuff in mind. Keep these comments in mind. This boy told me dating in 2023 is a joke. That's what he said. So after this situation, we end up talking it out and he just basically told me to not do that again. And you know, he was just like telling me like, you know, just don't do that again, like, you know, and he basically was like, if you got an issue, you gotta at the very least come and ask me rather than saying like, I'm done with you, He's like, I don't like that type of behavior. And I told him, I'm like, yeah, you're right, and I apologize. And that was that. Right now, let's fast forward to one day when I was at his house. There was a day that I was at his apartment and he's folding laundry and I see his phone go off and I do not remember what the girl texted him, but it was an Instagram notification from a DM from a girl that he was talking to. And I looked at the thing and it's crazy because me and him both looked at it at the same time. Like we both looked at the phone at the same time and then we both looked up at each other. So I looked at the phone and then I looked up at him. And I wasn't mad or nothing, but I was just like, who is this? Like, who is this girl? And so before I could even ask who is this, he says, oh, that's my ex. And I'm just like, ew. Like, you talk to your ex? And I was like, ew, you talk to your ex? And he was like, I don't talk to her like that. He said, but she, you know, me and her, we have conversations here and there. She slid up on my story. And I was like, what story? And he was like, in my close friends. And I'm like, oh, you don't have me in your close friends? He's like, no, we just started following each other on Instagram the other day. Now, granted, I'm not saying that the guy that I'm talking to has to put me in his close friends, because I don't put the guys that I talk to in my close friends all the time. But I'm just saying, if you gonna have your ex in your close friends, why the hell am I not in your close friends? And the message that she sent to him was very like weird. Like it was an off the wall type of message. Like a message to where you question like, what are they talking about? But like, so like you're sitting there posting in your close friends, but you don't post at all in your regular story. I don't see what you got going on in your regular story. But you can post up a mile a minute in your close friends. So I'm just looking at him and I'm just like, this is weird. And me and him are just staring at each other. And he ends up saying, you can go through the phone. And he gives me the phone. He's like, you can go through the phone. Like, it's innocent. Like, I don't talk to this girl. He said, I dated this girl in college. Like, me and this girl don't talk no more. Like, she's just an old friend that I used to date. Handing me the phone. Like, he's like, you can go through it. And I haven't reached to grab the phone. So he ends up putting it on the bed, and he's like, yeah, if you want to go through it, you can go through it. Like, I don't have nothing to hide. Like, he just keeps telling me that I can go through it. Like, he just keeps repeating that to me over and over again. And so I feel like now looking back at it, in a way, it was a tactic for him to psychologically manipulate me. Because if he's saying like, oh, you can go through it, you can go through it, eventually I'm gonna think to myself, oh, he not doing nothing because he telling me I could go through it. Let me just chill. He ain't doing nothing. So I end up not going through the phone, but I always kept that in the back of my head. Like, I always kept in the back of my head, this boy still talks to his exes, and I just don't care for my niggas to be still having conversations with their exes. I don't care what nobody says. I think it's personally inappropriate, if you ask me. So yeah, that is pretty much where I'm going to stop the story time, because the next chain of events that happen is like a whole story time within itself. And if I go and I start talking about that, then you guys, the video will be very, very long. But yeah, y'all, this is like the introduction to Legion. And so far, y'all let me know how y'all feel down below, and keep the comments cute. Like, keep the comments cute. I know I was stupid behind this boy, and as I get into the story time more and more, you guys will begin to see how stupid I was behind this boy. But please, y'all, keep the comments cute. I'm very traumatized from this situation. You guys know, if you guys watch my channel, then you guys know I do not tell story times like this with no jokes and I'm just telling the story. Y'all know I don't tell story times like this, like very mellowed out. Y'all should know I'm very traumatized from this situation. So please, I would love to hear you guys' comments. I would love to hear you guys' advice. But please keep the comments cute, because I will block you if you say you dumb, you dumb. I will block you. I know I was dumb. I don't need to be reminded of it. Yeah, y'all, I love you guys so much. And if you guys like this series, y'all give me a thumbs up. Let's try to get the video to 2.5K likes so I can tell the next story time. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.